Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another championship prediction video with myself and Mr. Beastly Ollie. I'm going to bring him in a second, but we are going to predict the championship from Reading versus Preston North End, which is tomorrow night. We are recording this on Thursday. That is on Friday, all the way through to Watford versus Coventry City. So if you're a fan of any of those teams, make sure you stay all the way to the end. Now, Ole, welcome to the stream.
No, thank you for having me, Nick. Always nice to be back. Another one of them where, I wish I could erase the midweek behind me because performances are just not going my way. I need a World Cup break to recuperate.
I don't think you did too badly. We'll pop the results on screen right now. You've done a lot worse, put it that way. So I've picked up 8 points, as you can see on screen right now. 2 correct scores, luckily, and 2 correct results. You've picked yourself up 7 points, which actually I think I've got a bit lucky in this game week. I thought I was coming away with 5 points. No, wait, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. I thought I was coming away with 6 points until I realised that I got the Watford score absolutely bang on, which was beautiful. And you managed to just sneak 3 beautiful points at the end of that game week, Wigan versus Stoke City. How did you enjoy midweek then?
Not bad, to be honest. It's always nice to see United win. It wasn't the most entertaining game. It wasn't the most enjoyable game, but we won. And so I had quite a good midweek. I can't complain at that.
Did a little part of you know that I predicted Sheffield United to win 1-0 and it was going to be a correct score?
Oh, I was desperate for us to score again. I was like, get a second right now.
Even if it's Bristol City that scores, who cares? Just get a goal.
When they hit the post and they tried. No.
Right, we'll pop up on screen the table. The viewers have gone up to 160 points. Clear. Very, very clear. I have gone up to 129 and Ollie is on a measly 118. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's not good. It's not good looking at the moment. 11 points behind is a gap to catch up, but we can all do it. It's doable. And I'm sure it only takes a couple of good weeks for me to be right back in it. So let's not get too down. But the viewers did really well again this week. Got a fantastic score for the man atop the leaderboard, Peter Heppel, with 12. I can see there James calling himself out for 9 points. So done very well himself there. Just not quite enough to get himself to the top of the leaderboard. But I want to shout out somebody else as well. Sharon Shazbat. She's always in our comments, always doing brilliant. She had a great week with 10 points, to be fair. But obviously a massive thing for her as well, having completed radiotherapy, having rung that bell. Just fantastic news. Really great to hear. So well done, Shazbat.
Yeah, we absolutely love Shazbat. I gave her a few messages on Instagram as well. Love to see that bell being rung. So, yeah, excellent. Great to see. Great to see. And very well done for bringing that up, Holly. That was lovely. Let's get into it, shall we? Reading versus Preston North End. Now, Ollie, what are you expecting from this game, mate?
Tricky one. Reading are unbeaten in the last 3 against Preston, but they're not in great form. I think they've lost 4 of the last 7 in the league. They've only won 1 in that time. Whereas Preston won 2 in a row, and they're now right on the edge of the playoffs. I have no idea where that came from. Wasn't expecting it, and suddenly they're right there on that tip. So, yeah, I think they'll win this one. I think they're on good form, and I think they might actually start scoring goals.
There we go, 2-1. They got a 1-0 win in the last game. You're expecting them to score 2 in this game. Not sure about that one. But yeah, you've gone for a 2-1. I've gone for a 1-0. I think Reading might just have enough in the locker to cause an upset or what you may think. Sheffield United versus Burnley next up. Now, this one is one that we're looking forward to, but probably the whole, I'm going to say the whole country, the whole league is looking forward to, because this is sort of a top of the table clash, first against third. What are you expecting from this game?
Well, I think most people have become into this expecting it to be a good game, particularly at Bramall Lane. Obviously, United are always better there. We've steadied the ship now. We've got 2 wins in a row, 2 clean sheets in a row. We've seen some of our injured players getting back into the side now. So that's all really good news, albeit that performances haven't necessarily followed the results. Burnley are flying. I mean, I think I said it last week. I'm expecting them to win the league. I think they were somewhat fortunate, shall we say, to beat Rotherham last night. Some dodgy refereeing decisions, some dodgy goalkeeping, and they've come away with a 100th minute winner. I'm sitting on the fence, and I think this will be a draw. I think 1-1, and I think both teams would be pretty happy and would be delighted with yours.
Yes. You'd rather my score, wouldn't you?
I would, yeah. I'll give up the point for United to win.
Give up the 3 points.
Give up 3 points. Give up however many points they have to give up for United to win.
I think I was more talking about the predictions. You're talking more about the game, aren't you? But no, there we go. I've gone for a 2-1 Blades win. I think we might just sneak this, but it depends on the lineup and what players we've got available. Because it's always going to be tough when you've got players going down left, right, and centre. I'll quickly pop up Shazbat's comment on screen. Lovely to see that. It's given us a warm feeling inside seeing that comment as well. So love that, Shazbat. Love that. Next up, we've got Blackburn Rovers versus Huddersfield Town, and Blackburn Rovers had a little bit of a blip in midweek. We're like used to, well, I'm going to say we're used to losing 1-0 to Coventry City. It's only happened once, but it happened recently. So we can understand why they may have gone to Coventry City in midweek and lost.
Yeah, it's easy done. Coventry have been a great side as well this side of the international break, so there's certainly no shame in that defeat. But I was looking into this, and Huddersfield have got a ridiculous record in this fixture. They've only lost to Blackburn in one of the last 12 times they've played each other, albeit that was a 5-2 battering. So, maybe when they do lose, they get hammered. And I think they're on for another one where they get hammered. I think Blackburn are just a much better team. I think they'll want to bounce back from midweek, and I'm going 3-0.
Wow, you're going big and going 3-0. Well, I'm going 2-0. So, I think you're right. But I think it's one of those games where you think it's absolutely nailed on. Could just be a little bit of a slip in there. Let's hope for a slip. I'd rather this not be a Blackburn win anyway, put it that way. Next up, we've got another black team, Blackpool. Yeah, that didn't work, did it? That didn't work.
That's not the segue.
I tried a segue. It didn't work. Let's move on. Blackpool versus Luton Town. The battle of the oranges, shall we say?
If you want.
So, I tried another thing and it didn't
You've
work.
not brought this one in. However, Blackpool, they were another team who were a little bit unlucky to lose midweek. There were some certain question marks about the goal that West Brom have scored to win that game. So it's a difficult one to know exactly what kind of form they're in. Whereas Luton, they've been in a bit of a sticky patch themselves. Another draw midweek. But I think they'll turn this around. I think they're a good side defensively. I think they always create enough chances to really score a goal. And that's what I think they're going to do here. I think they're going to defend well, nick it on the break, 1-0 Luton.
Fair enough.
A bad shout, though, from Wolfgang.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. It could be a snooze fest. But also, I think that Blackpool, after a couple of poor results, I think that Blackpool are going to come through and win this game. The complete opposite to you.
Yeah.
There you go. Next up, a team that are absolutely flying since relieving their manager of his duties. Middlesbrough versus Bristol City. We've just beaten Bristol City. I thought Bristol City were okay. I thought they were better than us in midweek, but I don't think they've got enough for Middlesbrough, and that's why I've gone a 3-1.
I agree. I think Middlesbrough will win this game. I think I quite liked Bristol City when we played them. I thought they played well, but I think it showed exactly what their big problems are. They've had another defender sent off, so they've got even less defenders available to play this game. They never really look like taking the chances beyond a really, really fantastic effort from distance. So they're going to struggle to score goals at the minute, despite me having bigged up their goal scorers all season long. Yeah, I think they'll lose, and I think they'll continue to struggle.
There you go. Oh, Chris Barton's gone for a 2-2. We'll have to see, but everybody other than Chris have gone for a Borough win, including both of us too. And we love to be the opposites of each other. Next up, we've got Millwall versus Hull City, and brand new manager in the dugout for Hull City after today, Liam Rossignol. What do you think of his appointment?
I think it's an interesting one, to be honest. I think, obviously, he was in the running for the Derby job with Wayne Rooney when he didn't get it and then stayed there as the assistant. He had the Derby job to start this year, and I think he did a great job of stabilising them. They were a club in crisis. You could argue that Hull are a club that's generally in a little bit of crisis. So maybe it's a bit of a continuation for him to get used to working in sticky circumstances. But to be honest, I don't really see him being a massively impactful manager. I think he's going to struggle. And you know what I'm like, Millwall are at home. Everybody knows what I'm going to predict.
Yeah. Let's have a look then,
Win.
shall we? There it is. I've gone for a 1-1. I think that he might just have given them a little something to feed off. And I think they might just get a draw out of this game. They've not been good as of late. They had a little bit of a turnaround, Hull.
Yeah.
And since then, it's not been great. But I think new manager bounce might be a thing. Anyway, let's move on from new manager bounce because that didn't happen for West Brom against us the other week. Next up, let's go for Queen's Park Rangers versus West Bromwich Albion. It was a stalemate for Queen's Park Rangers in the middle of the week, and West Brom managed to pick up a win, despite both of us saying they've got no chance.
Yeah, I don't know where we were going with that, to be honest, because they've still got a fantastic team, fantastic squad. We obviously just don't think that they've got enough to get out of it. And to be honest, spoiler alert, I'm going for them to lose again. You know, QPR haven't won in 2, but I don't think they're going to be panicking. They've had a fantastic start to the season. I think Chris Willock might be fit again now, and getting him back in the team is massive for them. I've got to talk about him.
You love Chris Willock.
So yeah, it was a good win midweek for West Brom. They were a bit lucky. They've scored a dodgy goal. I just don't think they're on QPR's level at minute, and so I think they'll lose.
There we go. I agree. I completely agree. 2-0 QPR in this game for me. QPR don't score a massive amount of goals, but they don't let in many goals either. So let's move on to Rotherham United versus Norwich City. They had a man sent off in the last game against Burnley, managed to just about throw it away in the end. Norwich City, as we've already spoken about, drew 0-0 in the last game. What are you expecting from this, Ollie?
Yeah, midweek I predicted Rotherham to get absolutely battered 4-0, and then they've gone to Burnley, put in a fantastic performance. Probably feel very, very hard done to have lost that game. And we're sat here now, and I'm predicting them to get battered again. I just don't really think they've got that sturdiness in them. You know, they're going to be missing another player now in Cohen Bramall. I hope they prove me wrong. I'd like them to take points off Norwich because I don't want Norwich catching us up. But at the minute, I just don't see it. And I think Norwich are a better team than their recent results. I think a 0-0 draw with QPR isn't a bad result for them. And I think they're going to really try and turn it on.
4-1. That is a big scoreline. Mate, if this goes right and you win this this prediction, I will give you 6 points. 6 points, double your pointage, double your pointage. And if I get it right as well, I get 9 points. So yeah, anyway, let's move on to Stoke. What?
No, she's not so sure about that deal.
Isn't that right? I'm only joking, but I do want to give you 6 points. If 4-1 comes in, 6 points because you deserve that.
You can just give me 6 points randomly if you want. I'm still not going to catch you up.
Right, next up, Battle of the City, Stoke City versus Birmingham City. I'm thinking this is going to be the most boring game of the season, a big fat 0-0. And you've only gone for 1 goal in this game. So
yeah, I think it's going to be boring. I completely agree. You know, before we came on, we were talking about potentially the graphics missing for this one. And I was like, is anybody going to care if we just skip over it? Probably not. Apologies to Stoke and Birmingham fans. But yeah, Stoke finally got a win after losing 3 in a row. It's a good win for them midweek away at Wigan, who are in disastrous mode, admittedly. But yeah, I'm not sure why I've predicted them to win this one. Just a gut feeling I've got. I think Stoke are going to take the points.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Very, very quick. I like that. Yeah, most people in the comments have gone for a Birmingham away win, which I'm a little bit shocked about because Birmingham really good enough.
Side, though. They're not. I know. It's tough.
I don't know if they're good enough to get the away win, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, Sunderland versus Cardiff City. Now, I think that Sunderland are primed for a big win. I've gone a massive 3-0 against Cardiff. What are you saying?
Yeah, I think Cardiff are rubbish, to be honest. I think at the minute they're just in terrible form. They've lost 4 of the last 5. Sunderland seem to be settling into a really nice mid-table pace. You know, I think they've won 1, lost 1, drawn 1 in the last 3, which is as mid-table as anything I could describe. So I just think this seems like one of those games where it's a decent team up against a really poor team and therefore a regulation home win.
Fair enough. And I think Sunderland will absolutely be fine with finishing mid-table and going again next season. Now, let's talk about Swansea City versus Wigan Athletic. You've already alluded to it earlier, that Wigan aren't very good and Swansea City are really good. So what are you seeing in this game?
Yeah, Wigan are just, at the minute, they're in disaster mode. They need the World Cup as much as any team around. If they can get a break, they can try and recuperate. They can maybe try and work on some stuff on a training pitch that maybe they've not had a chance to do. I just don't know, but it ain't working for them. They've lost 5 in a row now. They're just dropping towards relegation. And it really is starting to look like it's going to be a very long season for them. I know they're not in the relegation zone quite yet, but they're not far away and they will soon be down there. Whereas Swansea, they were on a fantastic run. They've slowed a little bit, but they're still a good team. I still think they'll be looking at, 3 games this week before the World Cup. They'll be thinking, get 6 points, get 9 points, and suddenly you're in a fantastic position for when you come back after the World Cup to really have a go at this division. And I think this one's a fairly straightforward home win again.
Yeah, this is a home banker for me too.
Yeah.
I think everybody in the comments, other than one, has gone for a home win. So I think we're expecting that. And from one home win to maybe another home win.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Coventry, they've been great since the international break. Like, we were talking about them being marooned at the bottom of the league. They've got so many games in hand and there were so many points behind. Suddenly, they're not even in the relegation zone anymore. That's how many points they've caught up since the last international break. Whereas Watford seem to have just shaken off a little bit of that chaos. I think under the radar, everyone's too busy laughing at them changing manager. And they've won 3 in a row. That's a great run for them. It's put them back in the playoffs. I think they'll be wanting to really cement their position there now. And I think this will be a 4th win in a row and a comfortable home win.
Right. Okay. I'm just going through the comments right now. We've got a Coventry win randomly. 4-0, 2-0, 3-1. Another one there that's an away win, which I'm a bit shocked about. Another Watford win, 2-1. I'm assuming that's to Watford. Yeah. I think this is a home win. But again, we say this every week. Watford are a crazy team. But 3 wins on the bounce suggests that they're finding some sort of form. So, there we go. It's on screen right now. 1-0, I've gone for Watford. I think it's going to be one of those games where they batter the door down and then they only manage to get the 1 goal. Yeah, exactly. You've gone for a 3-1 win, which I think right now, if I look at these objectively, I think yours is more likely to happen, but I just had a feeling.
I've predicted it, so it's definitely not more likely to happen.
That is very true, mate. Very, very true. Anyway, I think we should leave it there. Thank you very much for being here, as always, Ollie, and being the fountain of knowledge.
Well, yeah, if only I could be the fountain of predictions, that'd be a much better title for me. But who knows? Maybe this is the week I turn it round.
Exactly. I hope so. Well, I hope so and I don't hope so. Let's make it fun. Anyway, let us know in the comments what you think everybody's going to be, and Ollie may give you a shout out at the end of that, and hopefully you will get yourself a shout out. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. See you next time.